Hello everyone, Storm 11 here. Today I'll be tracking for the possibility for maybe a multi-day severe weather event that may happen across parts of the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, back down across to the Arlington region here. Just an area I'm monitoring very closely here for the possibility for some severe weather over the next, at least for the next couple of days. But we're going to get started with the SPC outlook here. So this is day one, margin of risk across Sothern Texas. And some of these places have been seeing some flooding issues earlier today. Haven't heard of the rainfall totals, but the malls the night before showed a lot of rain, but I don't think it got to that extent there. But seems like parts of Texas was able to see quite a bit of rain today. The severe weather risk will continue across southern Texas, but it does expand into the northeastern part of Texas and also for western Louisiana. There is a little bit of a tornado risk. You also got the wind and hail risk as well. So all threats are on the table, but they're pretty low end threats. Then on day three, which is I believe this is Sunday, I'm pretty sure, we have a slight risk for severe weather across southeastern Texas, very far southeastern Texas, most of Louisiana, most of Mississippi as well, far western Alabama, and far southwestern Tennessee, which that includes the Memphis area. Here's the probabilities. No significant severe weather is expected on those days there. But on day four, this is something we need to watch for here. They have that 15% pretty far to the west here, but what I'm going to show you guys on the models here, this is for Monday. It's going to be a pretty large area here, and don't be surprised on their next outlook here. They'll probably expand much further to the east here. I'll show you guys why in a moment here. And it seems like the severe weather risk may continue into day 5, but they have it predictably too low for now, which if that's going to be the case there, the possibility for severe weather may happen across parts of the Ohio Valley into parts of the Mid-Atlantic as well. So let's first take a look at the NAM here. Actually, let's look at the European model, at least for Monday. Uh, so for Monday here, there is going to be a lot of CAPE, and I mean a lot. If we check out the CAPE numbers, oh man, you got numbers as high as 5,300, 5,600, 5,700 joules per kilogram of CAPE. If this is going to be right, if we get at least one storm to blow up in one of these areas within this very high amount of Cape region, we could be talking about some very, very large hail. I know I've heard that parts of Oklahoma and Texas got slammed by hail the other day here, and hail size were up to baseballs in a lot of places. We could see that similar scenario again, but it doesn't look to be that widespread at this time here. At least that's what's indicated by the European model, which shows one lonely storm by San Antonio. We also we also got some big storms that across most of Oklahoma. However, a couple other models don't show much of any storms at all, which that may be due to some capping up there. But we're at to watch and see. It also indicates a pretty good cluster of thunderstorms and across parts of southwestern Kentucky and far northwestern Tennessee as well. Some big storms up there too. And let's go back to the NAM here. So we're going to skip Monday here on the NAM here. But you can see here, Saturday here actually shows some pretty good, decent storms across a good chunk of Texas. And then here's Sunday here. You can see we do have a line of thunderstorms moving into parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, and eventually getting into Mississippi. I think the damaging winds are probably the primary threat, but other threats may be on the table as well. Then when you get to Monday here, that doesn't show much of any storms. Now, that's a little off the screen there. There may be a couple storms across parts of central Texas and southern Texas out there. I'll probably check it after this video, see if there's any storms out there. But as we move into overnight Monday, check this out. It's got some couple supercells here. You got one by Indianapolis. You got one close to the Louisville area in Owensboro. You got one by Evansville, and you got a couple others by Paducah. That's very interesting. Let me show you guys the supercell composite. So this is really the combination of a cape and wind shear here. If you have a very high combination of both, oh wait, never mind. This is the significatory parameters. My bad. I thought I put this in superset composite. But anyways, this is the significatory parameters. And really over a 1, you got it's favorable for at least an isolated tornado threat or scattered tornadoes. But when you get into as over a 2, that's a chance for a significant tornado. And you can see here where some of these supercells are nearby, we do have numbers that may be favorable for a strong tornado. So if we check out a sounding here in northwestern Tennessee, you can see here, pretty favorable environment for pretty much about all hazards. Um, we're going to see if those updrafts may be strong enough to produce some hail, but at least for the damage and wind threat, it's definitely there. Your DCAPE number's 1100. You do have a little bit of a split on the dew point and temperature line there, so that will indicate some strong winds at the surface. So damage and winds will be there, and you also got a tornado threat. You got a pretty good hodograph here. Critical angle number 62. Decent amount of wind shear. You got wind varying in height. Definitely plenty of storm relative helicity. We also got plenty of cape. We also do have some pretty good mid-level lap rates as well. So this will be a pretty favorable environment here for severe weather if this is correct here. If we want to go to the hotspot here on this model here, at 3.7 nearby Paducah, here's what it shows here. Shows a much lower damage and wind. Well, maybe not much lower, but it shows a lower damage and wind threat. But it does show a little bit better environment here for an isolated tornado threat, or maybe a little bit better than that. So that's just one model here. Let's check out the GFS. It's almost there now. This is the superset composite here. And as you can see here, this is just the mean of all 1920 members here. And you can see here, as we get into Sunday here, you got a pretty decent number of a 4 as a mean for East Central Texas, which ain't bad. Then as you kind of get into Monday here, check this out. Pretty good mean. As high as an 8. That's a pretty good mean right there. That's a pretty good mean. But you also see here your superset composite number as high as a 5 or a 6 is over a pretty large area here too. So maybe a little bit of a widespread severe weather event here. But we're going to see if any thunderstorms do develop in some of these places here. But the areas I would watch for Monday into Monday night will be areas in the orange, in the red there. In the yellow, yeah, you do have a favorable environment for severe weather, but areas in the orange and red will probably be the areas to be focused for now. If we go back to the European model again, oh yeah, let's actually go back to the GFS almost real quick. You can see here, here's Tuesday. You can see here your severe weather threat may continue across parts of the Ohio Valley. Then you got this other zone here and across parts of southeastern Texas, most of Louisiana, into parts of Mississippi and Alabama. So the severe weather threat may continue into Tuesday as well for parts of the Ohio Valley and Dixie Valley as well. If we go back to the European model, as we move on into Tuesday here, check out all these storms out here. Talk about a lot of storms we got going on out here. And you can see here, these storms will be producing quite a bit of lightning as well. That's where we had those bold lightning strikes here. And here's your lightning intensity here, and it shows some pretty high numbers out there. So these storms will definitely be producing a lot of lightning. And here's your low right here, moving up along the Ohio River. Got some decent storms up across parts of the Ohio Valley Midwest. You got this other area across parts of Dixie Alley as well. We check out to see how much visibility we got out there. We got plenty out here. You only really need 1,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE. We got places that's doubled and even close to tripling that as well. So we'll have plenty of CAPE here. That's definitely not going to be a problem for severe weather. We'll check out those mid-level winds there. You can see here, it shows probably the best environment here for maybe a tornado threat. Well, probably these areas right in here. So you got Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and parts of Georgia. Even for parts of Indiana and Ohio, which I eventually get into the overnight hours. As you can see there, by 1 a.m. in Eastern Time, you got some pretty good low level. You got pretty good low level jet got across parts of the Tennessee Valley and the Ohio Valley as well, which will be favorable for at least to have a tornado threat. Now, the GFS has a progression bias, so it's going to be moving too fast. But if we back up to the a little bit earlier in the day on Tuesday, shows basically for some of the same areas that'll have a pretty good level of jet involved. Moving back to Monday, where some of the models indicating where some supercells may happen, we got a pretty good level of jet over there. Meanwhile, the European model is much slower than the GFS. We'll take a look at the GFS on a little bit of a different view here. You can see here we'll have some pretty decent thunderstorms out across parts of Mississippi. Those will die out a little bit as they, well, at least die down a little bit as they get into Alabama and eventually into Georgia. Then as you kind of get into Monday evening, not a whole lot will be going on. Well, actually, yeah, there would be. Check out all these storms here, at least scattered cells here, really anywhere from West Virginia all the way back to parts of Arkansas. These will probably be the areas to monitor there. So that was hour 90. If we check that out around the same time, check out these supercell composite numbers. Probably the best environment for supercells indication by the GFS looks to be across southwestern Kentucky, southern Illinois, and the western half of Tennessee as well. We'll get a sounding out there. You can see there, yeah, it'll be favorable for some severe weather out there. Uh, yeah, it'll be favorable for some gusty winds. Yes, we could probably see a tornado threat, and depending on our updrafts, we could probably see some hail with some of these storms as well. We got a pretty good amount of storm to Felicity, got plenty of Cape. You can tell there with your precipitable water here, this is something I almost forgot to mention here. You got a dew point of 70, which is the green right here. You got precipitable water number as high as at 1.6 of an inch, and or 1.6 inches. And when you have a combination of these storms will be producing a lot of rain in a short period of time. We've seen that happen, I believe, yesterday, where some places experience very high rainfall rates. Southern Missouri, for example, experienced over 6 inches of rain in 2 hours. Another area was in Louisville, Kentucky, that had 1.15 inches of rain in 10 minutes. And if my math is correct, that's over 6 inches of rain per hour. So that's some impressive stuff here. Now, seems like the dew points will be about the same, but the precipitable water numbers will be a little bit lower. But still, these rainfall rates from these storms, they'll be producing a lot of rain. So keep in mind of that. So flash flooding may become a possibility if some of these storms do train. I believe this was Central Tennessee. And you can see here pretty much the same thing as the other sounding as well. So favorable for actually that was West Central Tennessee. So yeah, definitely something we need to watch here. I'll probably definitely have an update on this probably sometime this weekend here. By the way, for anybody that'll be watching Kentucky Derby tomorrow, it's looking pretty darn good for Louisville. The Kentucky Derby will be held right over here. And at least the weather will be very nice over there. Temperatures in the 70s. No rain expected across the Louisville area as well. So at least we'll have a pretty nice year, a pretty nice day for the Kentucky Derby this year. But anyways, guys, that's all for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you already like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.